What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another review. This time we're taking a look at The Dead Zone, based off the Stephen King novel of the same name. Dead Zone is directed by David Cronenberg, starring Christopher Walken, Martin Sheen, and Tom Skerritt. Now, Dead Zone tells the story of Johnny Smith, a school teacher who gets into a really bad car accident and then goes into a 5-year coma. When he awakens, he discovers that he has psychic ability whenever he touches somebody, and this is what he refers to as the Dead Zone. So, how do I feel about this movie? I thought this movie was actually really, really good. I've never seen The Dead Zone prior to this review, so I went to this movie with a very, very clean slate, and I was not disappointed with it whatsoever. I mean, there were a couple of things here and there that I would have done a little bit differently, but overall, I think this is a great, solid adaptation of a Stephen King novel. And since this movie was made in 1983, this was part of the first string of adaptations of Stephen King works, and I think David Cronenberg easily did one of the better adaptations. So let's break it down. From a casting standpoint, the cast in this movie is excellent. Christopher Walken as Johnny Smith gives an excellent performance. I like how grounded and human Walken makes Johnny Smith. He makes Johnny Smith feel very, very vulnerable and very, very scared when he gains these psychic abilities, and he doesn't know how to handle it at first. And I think Walken did an excellent job at balancing so many different emotions with this thing. And I also like seeing Johnny Smith pre-accident. He has his girlfriend Sarah, and you can tell these two are really into one another. And then when the accident happens and he goes into the coma, Sarah, of course, moved on with her life, and Johnny's world is completely shaken up to its foundation, and he's pretty much has to readjust now to almost everything. And like I said, I thought Christopher Walken did an excellent job at balancing different emotions. Speaking of the character of Sarah, I think the actress Brooke Adams did an okay job. I've never seen much of her work prior to this movie, and to be honest, I think she comes across a little bit flat in some certain scenes. And there's a lot of scenes where I think she holds her own against Christopher Walken. Her performance to me was very, very hot and cold. I think the best performance between Johnny Smith and Sarah is when Sarah goes over to John's house and they have a dinner along with John's father and Sarah's little child. I think that's probably one of the best scenes between Walken and Sarah. And to be honest with you, that's kind of the highlight of Sarah as a character, because after that scene, she really becomes a non-factor until the climax of the movie. She kind of just disappears for a little bit. And once she disappears, the character of Tom Skerritt, who plays the sheriff of Castle Rock, Maine, comes into the picture, and this new storyline develops where the sheriff enlists the help of Johnny Smith to try and find this Castle Rock killer, who inevitably ends up being Frank Dodd, who is actually the sheriff's deputy. And I like Tom Skerritt in the role of the sheriff, though I think this segment of the movie could have gone for a little bit more longer. It feels like this part to me feels like it was like a little bit rushed. You know, Johnny Smith contemplates contemplates becoming contemplates helping the sheriff, and then he ends up helping the sheriff. And and I would have liked to have seen more of the investigation that transpired. You know, we see Johnny Smith help with one crime scene, and then he helps with a second crime scene, and but it was during that second crime scene where we discover who the killer is, and it's Frank Dodd. I would have liked to have seen maybe an extra crime scene or a little bit more interaction between the sheriff and Johnny Smith, because I was kind of liking Tom Skerritt in the role of the sheriff. But and but I do like the whole segment overall of hunting down the serial killer Frank Dodd, which they eventually do, and Frank Dodd does himself in a very gruesome way, a very, very gruesome way. Like, he puts scissors on a bathroom table, and then he, like, pretty much shows him down his own throat. It's gruesome, very, very gruesome, but I like it a lot. And then we get to, like, the last half of this movie, which brings in the character of Charlie Sheen, who is playing this political figure named Greg Stilson, and it's revealed after Johnny Smith touches Stilson that Stilson, once he becomes president, he pretty much wants to start a nuclear war. So Johnny takes it upon himself to assassinate Stilson. Now, it ends up not working, and Johnny ends up getting himself killed. But during the commotion, Stilson uses uses Sarah's child as a shield, and that is what ultimately kills Stillson's political career. So, and I think Martin Sheen as Greg Stillson did a great performance as well. I thought he was actually I thought he brought like a lot of funny humor to the role, and to me, Sheen was playing Stillson as a parody of Republicans. It just stood out to me. I thought it was really good. Uh, so yeah, those are like my overall basic thoughts of the movie. I think it's really good. Now there's some other stuff in this movie that I also did enjoy as well. I like the relationship that Johnny Smith has with his doctor, played by Herbert Lom. I think Herbert Lom as the doctor did a really good job at being very, very likable and being very sympathetic to Johnny and his plight. And it's actually Herbert Lom's character who helps Johnny ease into his role as a psychic after doing research and explaining to Johnny that there's more people like him. And I like the relationship between those two. It's a very it's not the relationship of a doctor exploiting his patient. It's a relationship of a doctor genuinely trying to help his patient, and they have a lot of really cool scenes together. And there's also this nice little subplot of Johnny Smith trying to help this boy Chris come out of his shell, which I thought was really well handled too, and it also adds a lot of emotional depth to Johnny as a character. So, those are overall my basic thoughts on The Dead Zone. After everything, I'm going to give this movie a solid 9 out of 10. I thought this movie was excellent. I like it a lot. This is definitely one of Stephen King, of the better Stephen King adaptations during the early days of his adaptations. And I thought that David Cronenberg as a whole did a fantastic job behind the director's chair. David Cronenberg has always had a reputation of being one of those visceral directors, and this movie is no different. It has strong writing, outstanding visuals, very good production value, and outstanding acting from an outstanding cast. So yeah, 9 out of 10 for The Dead Zone. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Like the video and subscribe, and I'll check you back next time for more.